dumb hard, cakewalk, joyride, bake car, straight talk, straight talk, straight talk.
My name is Claudette Esterine-Campbell, and I am the president of the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. Welcome to These Three Things. You don't know what it is about. Usually once per month, usually on the last Saturday of the month, we come to you live to discuss three things. Three things that stick in our craw, that either made us happy or made us angry or just somewhere in between. And so we here, the directors of the Daughters of Sheba Foundation, come and each of us choose one such topic and we discuss.
Answer, I'm dancing, I'm all in my zone. James Brown. Dumb hard, cakewalk, joyride, bake car, straight talk, straight talk, straight talk, straight talk. Dumb hard, cakewalk, joyride, bake car, straight talk, straight talk, straight talk, straight talk. Check a flag waving, green light flashing, all of you see it's gold. Hey, whip my wrist, my whip got hits, I whipped up this my stove. Hey, shoot like this you get when you subscription HBO. Hey, misfit with the shits, too slick to slip up, slip they throw. On the lane, right at they next and
Hi, good evening, and welcome to These Three Things. My name is Claudette Esterine-Campbell, and I am the president and chairperson of the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. I hope you're hearing me okay, and I'd just like to ask you to take a minute and share this live because it's going to be, I think, a good one, a great conversations, and that's what we do here. We have conversations, and this evening we are doing our These Three Plus things, although I don't see our 3+ person yet. I hope she will be joining us. There's no issue. And so this evening we'll be discussing 4 or 5 things that, as we say, or as I say, stick in our craw for the month. It might be something wonderful. It might be something not so wonderful. It might be something silly, whatever it is, but they're all related to women. Somehow there is always a connection to women in our conversations. So without any further ado, hi, Corella, how are you? Thanks for joining us. Without any further ado, let me bring in my co-directors of the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. I do not see Colleen, who is supposed to be our 3+ this month. Why is this thing not moving? I'm having computer issues all afternoon. Hi, Gloria, how are you? Thanks for being here. Hi, Clara, thanks for making your grand entrance when I'm sweating bullets saying, where is Clara? No, I'm still sweating bullets wondering where is Colleen, just hoping that everything is okay. How are you, ladies? July, can you believe that July is over?
I'm fine.
Great.
Mm.
You,
I'm
Clara?
fine.
Great. So we have actually, well, if Colleen doesn't show up, we have 3 things. If Colleen does show up, we have 4 or 5 things. Hi, Carlene, how are you? Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Lorna. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Just want to acknowledge everybody who has joined us. And for those people who are new to the Daughters of Sheba Foundation, the Daughters of Sheba Foundation is a Canadian registered nonprofit organization. We have been in existence. August 10th will be 4 years since we are incorporated. Can you believe that, guys? 4 years since we were incorporated, and we have changed a little bit over the year. What has not changed is our focus. We've always been woman-centric. Here is Colleen. Our focus has always been on women. Anything to do with women, that's what we do. Hoot, hoot, Corella says. I guess that's about our birthday that's coming up, our anniversary that's coming up. Now, the fact that we're only 4 years old doesn't mean that we're new to social media. Because so anybody wondering, when I'm 4 or 5 old woman, I do on social media at this time of them life. I just got into my Jamaican. I'm Jamaican by birth. I'm Canadian by citizenship. And I try my best to stick to the Canadian side so that everybody would understand me. So if anybody's thinking, what are these 4 old, Clara is not old. What are these 3 old women, these 3 almost senior citizens doing on social media? So for your information.
Thank you for the correction.
For everybody's information, I've been on social media ever since Facebook came alive. If you go back into the records, I've been here since 2000 and whatever. And the Daughters of Sheba Foundation has only been around as a foundation for 4 years, but the Daughters of Sheba have been around as a group on Facebook for 13 plus years. As a matter of fact, that's how Clara and I met. When we formed a private group 14 years ago. Gloria and I went to St. Hugh's High School, the best girls' school in it.
Right. Yeah,
The best girls, all girls school in Jamaica, to
Right.
Clara's disappointment. And Colleen, now we know that Colleen went to Queens. So we all went to all girls school in Jamaica. I am now a Canadian citizen and have been for the last 20 odd years. Gloria lived in the UK for a while, and Clara, but she's now based in Jamaica. And Clara and Colleen have been resident. They visit other parts of the world, obviously, but they have been they have lived on a long-term basis outside of the country. Immaculate, okay. I have fond memories of Immaculate. Carella, just so you know, I have fond memories of Immaculate. What am I? Let me for a second. My first boyfriend. We went to.
Immaculate.
Is this innocent, Carella? My first boyfriend, the first love of my life. I've had more than one, but so I guess I've had more than one lives. But the first love of my life, we went to, back in those days, we used to call it fete, right? And we went to a fete at Immaculate High, and we were dancing like we lock it down, whenever I think about that. And he's still
What
around.
happened?
No. Well, let me tell you what happened. We went as 6 of us, 3 brothers, myself.
That's not what I'm talking
2
about. I'm
sisters.
talking about your ability to dance.
Oh, get away from me. You think that I can't dance? I can't do the latest Jamaican dances, whatever, but I can hold my own. So anyway, and Colleen, also a former student, a past student of St. Hugh's High, is confirming, so you guys are outnumbered. Anyway, let's get to the point before Clara get vexed. There I go again in my all-out Jamaican. Okay, so these 3 plus things is a program that we do once per month. Usually we try to time it for the last Tuesday of the month, where we discuss, as I said, 3 or 4 or 5 things that stood out for us over the month. A lot of things stand out, but each of us select one. Tonight, one of us has selected 2 that we want to talk about. It could be breaking news, as we have there, of social media. Most people are getting their news now from social media. So even if it's in mainstream media, it's usually somewhere on social media. So tonight, we're going to start with myself. And I just want to point out that although my story and one of Gloria's story is somewhat political, we do not take political sides here as an organization. We will take the woman's side, the woman focused side. So if the political story so happens to include a woman, we are taking her side, either to dissect it as good, bad, somewhere in between, or as how that story of this woman empowers women. And for those who are new to us, I do not use the word empowerment lightly. A lot of people nowadays love to talk about women empowerment, but they really don't know what women empowerment means. Women empowerment is not about hating men. It is not about going around half naked necessarily just because you can. It is not about being equal to a man in the sense that we are better than them or anything like that, although in some cases we are. But for us, at least for me, that's not what women empowerment mean. It means being recognized as the full human beings that we were created by God, source, Allah, whatever you want to say to be. We were not created as half. We were not created as 3/4. We were created as full, capable human beings. Everybody choose a role, choose whatever they're going to do in this life that they've been given, but we were all created equally. And for me, women empowerment mean helping women to understand that and to step into her full beinghood, for the want of a better word. So the first story this evening that we're going to talk about is, and I am the first story because I just want to get it out of the way, and I'm not going to dwell on it too long. Just going to show you something that I have on my personal profile, because I was issuing a warning on my personal profile that for the next several months, this is what you're going to see on my personal profile mainly. I do not bring it to the Daughters of Sheba Foundation because, as I said, we're not a political organization. So let me bring that up and share that. I said I'm having computer problems this evening. Okay, here we go.
One wanted it this way. Joe Biden is a good man, a good American, a great president. But time and the burden of the office means it's time to step aside, to put a warrior into the political arena, ready to take on Donald Trump, to face up to the un-American plan Trump and Project 2025 will impose. Vice President Kamala Harris is ready, experienced, and as a tough prosecutor, Kamala Harris dealt with men like Trump all the time. Rapists, con men, frauds, criminals. She's used to guys like Trump, used to putting them in their place.
Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America?
Kamala Harris will bring something to Trump he's rarely seen. Justice.
And this is the first and probably the last time you will see something like this on our page. And as I said, this is shared from my perspective because for me personally, this is a momentous time. Whether Kamala Harris wins or not, it's not the point. It's for me, it's the same thing like when Hillary Clinton tried to run for President of the United States. The difference this time is that there's more involved. You know, it goes way beyond, at least for me, it goes way beyond her skin color, her ethnicity, her cultural heritage, her bloodline. It goes beyond the fact that she's a woman, because as I've said many times, that had I been an American citizen, I would have found it very hard, to my detriment, obviously, because we saw what happened, in my opinion. We saw what happened. To my detriment, I would not have voted for Hillary. I probably would have sat that one out because I had my issues with Hillary and everything. This time, if I was an American, I would definitely be going out to vote for Kamala. Why? Because of history, where we are in history at this point in time. Yes, because she's a woman, she's at the right place at the right time in terms of history, because of everything that's going on. And I often say this to these ladies here and on my personal profile, that while I live in Canada, I've lived there for 22 years. My friends are living in Jamaica and so forth, and traveled elsewhere. We might think that, it's an American issue. No. Yes, immediately it is an American issue, but it is going to affect all of us, just as we saw what happened when, we have other presidents. When Barack Obama was elected, I was one of those who's cheering, saying, yeah, black man. I didn't think that he was going to eradicate everything related to racism, anti-black and all of that. But I was a bit disappointed by the end of his presidency, because I thought that, more could have been done, and not necessarily for Black people, not only for people of color, but frankly, I thought a bit more could have been done. I have no such hopes for Kamala, except to look forward to her stopping the what would be. I'm a student of history, and I studied history, and I see fascism. Let's call it what it is. Fascism knocking on the door. People might not agree with me, and that's your right. As I said, I'm a student of history. I lived in the former Soviet Union. Those of you might know it as Russia. I lived there back in the early 1980s. I traveled extensively across Europe, and particularly in Eastern Europe, and I saw the tears, I saw the walls, I saw everything, and I spoke with people, and I heard I spoke with babushkas. I speak Russian, and I heard what they went through, and I heard what the signs on the wall were, and who ignored it and who didn't. We cannot afford, as a world, to ignore it this time around. And that is my position on why this story hit me. It was unexpected. I was hoping that Biden would win. It was totally unexpected for me, at least, for him to step aside. But I welcomed it. I cheered when he did it, after being in shock that he actually did it. So I'm not going to go on anymore, because I could do this all night. I am a politics baby. I've always been into politics since I was 7 years of age, literally 7 years of age. So I'm not going to go any further to say I look forward to the next few months, and I look forward to Kamala Harris win only to stop what is knocking on the door, fascism. I don't know if you guys want to add anything.
Well, I am not a political person.
You're not a what? Sorry, I
am not. Can you hear me?
Yes, no.
I'm not a political person. I have never been, and I don't ever will be. But my little 2 pence right here, the way how I see it, people are gravitating to Kamala right now because I don't think they're looking at it as really Democrats versus Republican really per se, but they're seeing her, as you said, representing what they want. They want, especially the Blacks and the Indians too, I hear, rallying around her because she's also half Indian.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom is an Indian, so came from India. So I understand the Indians are also trying to back her because of whatever they, the issues they are going through right now. And then the Blacks on the other hand, then the women movement on the other hand. So she has a lot of people, gravitating to her, looking forward for her to fix whatever is lacking where they are concerned. And I think mostly that is particularly she's going to be what is going to be the stronghold for her. Well, that's my thought.
Thank you for that, Colleen.
As far as I'm concerned, it was a surprise when President Joe Biden picked Kamala as his vice president, to a lot of us, or to those of us looking in. And the cynics among us thought that it was a symbol, not anything to bring about change in the status quo or change in the way America operates. 4 years have gone by or coming to an end. And even when the president selected Kamala as his vice president, unlike what he got from Barack, a structured job description, responsibilities outside of the president, that did not happen with Kamala. We hardly ever see her, and we hear about the blunders, but we never hear about anything positive that she was given to handle. And as the vice president, that is her responsibility. Now we have a situation where firsthand, where the signs were there that from the first term, it was very evident that it would have been very difficult for Joe to physically and mentally manage to do 2 terms. And if the blunders and the fallout didn't happen, he would be on the ballot for November. Be that as it may, and she has been making significant strides.
That is what Trump was hoping for.
For her to make significant strides.
No. That Biden was going to be on the ballot.
Oh.
Yes. So I know for sure America has 150 million persons last count, which was like 4 or 5 years ago, perhaps double now. I know there's one man who has sleepless nights since Joe Biden's announcement last week Sunday, and that's Donald Trump. And his mental capacity cannot handle this. And just yesterday, I saw where Melinda Gates gave $52 million from her own resources, pour that into Kamala's. This thing is like money is rolling in like Niagara Falls. But the other side of that is, and I ask the question, is America ready for a female president?
Yeah, that's a big question too.
It is a big question.
If she wins, my God, it's gonna be not interesting. It's going to be.
I don't really think.
I hope if she wins, people will embrace the change and make it more about America than their personal.
I doubt that
their personal.
I think their personal agenda is going to be there first. Everybody wants to fix.
Yeah, I think if she wins, I
don't want her to be a puppet.
Know that she will. But,
I don't think that woman will be anybody's puppet. Although we all thought
she's not going to be anybody's puppet, but they are going to do everything to make it seem as if, that's a woman's thing, and that's a woman's thing, and if we had a man there, then that kind of, as Claudia spoke about the fascism. I just want to say before
you continue, Clara, and Gloria chimes in, and this might not be popular, but I don't think Americans realize that they're at a major turning point. Long before this Kamala thing, I don't think they realize that they're at a major turning point. America has been surviving, and to some extent, a large extent, still operating on this thing that they're a superpower and they're the center of it. They're no longer that. They're no longer that. And
The
whether
most
it is
powerful.
whether it is China or whoever, I don't know. But as you said, Clara, looking on, they're no longer that. And I'm hoping, like you, Clara, that this moment, for me, it's about stopping fascism. I'm not even saying Trump. It's for stopping fascism and this Project 2025. And Project 2025 is not about the year. It's about the essence of what they plan to do for towards women, towards governance, towards children, towards education. It's just fascism. And I don't think enough Americans realize the threat to their country as they know it. I don't think they realize. It's just the same way that many Germans didn't realize what was happening back in the 1930s when Hitler started marching. I don't think they realize. And so I hope that will get them to rally, not necessarily around her, but to rally around America. Sorry.
Yeah.
Gloria, what you have anything to say before we move on?
Oh, you both have expressed.
So see, somebody's here already. George, she'll never be a president. You know, we have these men who troll us, you know, and I wish they would just get the off. But I will find him. Anyway, sorry.
Yes, no, that's fine. You guys have expressed all that I would have said between you and Clara. So yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm just gonna watch as everybody else is watch keenly to see how it plays out.
Okay. All right. So like I said, we're not going to belabor this any further. We have spent how many minutes? 27. Well, not all of the 27 minutes on it. So we're going to be moving on to the next topic. So just give me a moment to bring that, to get that up here. The next topic we're moving to is the United Kingdom.
Dumb hard, cakewalk, joyride, bake car, straight talk, straight talk, straight talk.
My name is Claudette Esterine-Campbell, and I am the president of the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. Welcome to These Three Things. You don't know what it is about. Usually once per month, usually on the last Saturday of the month, we come to you live to discuss three things that stick in our craw, that either made us happy or... So here we are with the second thing that stuck in somebody's craw. I don't know. She will tell us if it was in a wonderful way or what. So we're off to the UK, off to the races with the UK, and handing over to Gloria on this one.
Right. Okay. So our last these three things, we had discussed the UK and Rwanda's plan for the person seeking asylum with the UK. And this is a short follow-up to say that early July, the UK had their general elections, and the new Prime Minister, one of his commitments to the persons or the people of the country was that he would scrap the planned asylum drama that Sunak had with regards to sending everybody off to Rwanda to be processed there, and if they fail, to be kept there, or even if they're successful, to be kept there as well. So his promise, he has kept it the first day officially on duty as the new UK Prime Minister. One of the first things he did was to abolish the plans that they had to send their asylum seekers off to Rwanda to be processed. He said it was ridiculous. It was against all the human rights that the UN has ever fought to put in place. And he scrapped the plan instantly on his first day in office. So I just wanted to follow up on that because we did it as a TTT topic very recently. That's it.
Let me no, that's not it. Let me ask you first for your reaction to the ousting of the Conservatives not necessarily your personal feeling, but the feeling that you have from your friends and family who live in the UK generally?
Yeah, well, it was expected, as we alluded to the last time. The polls that they conducted prior, or a few months prior to the general elections, showed that they would lose, and they would have lost considerably. So we were all taken by surprise when he actually announced the snap elections, because the UK does nothing by snap. This is an unusual stance for them. And snap, yes, is unusual, but also knowing that the polls had shown that they would have lost, persons were quite taken aback when he announced the election. So it wasn't a surprise. It was predicted, and they also knew too that they would have lost.
Okay.
But he covered it by saying that he wanted to respect the wishes of the people of the UK, and he listened. He responded very well. He's listening and responding according to the voice of the nation. That's how he spun it.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Clara,
Clara, I just for the want of having for shits and giggles. What was your reaction to the Conservatives in the UK losing?
I have so little respect for this fellow, Mr. Sunak.
Well, he was asked, Mr. Axe.
He was asked, and rightly so. Because I've always said, man, this man is a disappointment. I mean, he spends so much time doing nothing. And then the arrogance, which is not lost on Britain, because they are so arrogantly stupid. And it's just, I mean, I don't know anything much about this gentleman, so it's
his
early
name
days
is
yet.
Keir Starmer.
I don't remember which of you said something about the Indians support. I think it was Colleen supporting Kamala. From my experience here in Canada, one thing I've noticed with East Indians and those of East Indian heritage is the word that Clara just used, the arrogance. A lot of them that I've come across tend to be arrogant and have this superiority complex. And I'm sure there's some conservative listening to me now and saying, yes, that's Kamala she's talking about. No, I'm not.
So why couldn't it be confidence instead of arrogance?
No, it's
No,
arrogance. When you're looking down at other
Don't
people
confuse
and think that, so for example, this is not, maybe this should have been my topic today, for them shitting on the beaches all across Canada, that is ignorance meshed with arrogance in them thinking, we're going to do anything we want to do here because you cannot do anything about getting us out. Watch. So there was this arrogance, as Clara rightly said, about Mr. Exit, whatever his name was, Mr. Sunak, that it's a blend of political and cultural arrogance. That's all I have to say about that. Colleen, you wanted to say anything about the Conservatives being ousted? Okay, so all right, let's move to this matter now of the Rwanda thing. So what's Rwanda going? How is Rwanda going to feed themselves?
Well,
that's the
same thing I was saying to because I have a family member visiting me, and I was saying to him, wow, they have thrown a huge spoke in Rwanda's wheels, because
serve them down.
Rwanda they had lots and lots of plans for this, lot of
money.
Because of course they're going to be paid in
pounds,
and of course
the brainwashing.
it was per person.
The brainwashing continues
as well.
So,
So it was
so they were going to, not all the people of Rwanda, don't get me wrong. I mean, the
Yes.
leadership,
Obviously, leadership.
Yes.
Yeah.
the leadership.
So they
No,
had-
you have some people who listening to us, from Rwanda might think that we're talking about our brothers, the ordinary
No.
people of Rwanda.
They had huge plans for this money, and baps, it's all gone.
It's all gone.
All gone.
And it's rightly so. How can you Rwanda, how any African nation could have been okay with basically enslaving people again?
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. The brainwashing continues, and it is just like it's not going to get any better. It's not going to be over, and they find all kind of political
Look at their past.
Well,
nuances
it
and
was
what.
the immigrant community. Sorry, the immigrant community. They were saying that it was like when they used to send the criminals to Australia or New Zealand.
Or to Jamaica or the Caribbean.
Yeah, that's what they were trying to do again. So the immigrant community was really up in arms about it because, of course, they're just moving the problem onto someone else and just say, we'll pay you to take that, and we just pay you the money. Keep it. We don't want it on our shores.
And I'm reading the headline
They don't
here.
recognize that. Sorry, they don't recognize that the immigrants are not the same people who you brainwash or steal from. These are generations, younger generations of these original immigrants.
Children of
who are
the
much
grandchildren.
more well-read. They understand the system. They work in the system. Some of them are victims of the system, and they are not going to stand for it.
And
They're
this
not
is
going
what,
to climb into any boat. And
this is why I am so not baffled, but astounded by Sunak, whatever his name is. His family, his great grandparents, they're rich,
immigrants.
are immigrants, and he could consider sending asylum seeker. Okay, I get it about people storming your borders. I get that, and I get you trying to find a way to mitigate the effects of that. But sending people from Ecuador to Rwanda?
The effects of that could be, say, economical, social, political, and all of that. But at what cost? You are going to pay Rwanda, take the people them from one hemisphere to another, and pay Rwanda all these huge sums of money when having them there in Britain, put them to work, find systems and to engage them or whatever, wouldn't cost them half as much. Not only that, it's a very few taxpayers' money. You're not going to take any from your billions of dollars, your wife and yourself. The people who are working £3 an hour and I pay tax, please.
Colleen, before we move on, you have anything on this part of the story, the plan being dead and buried? You're just glad that it's over.
Dead and buried. So it's just dead and buried. Yeah.
I'm not exhuming the body.
It's right up in his face. Yeah. That's how it should go.
Yeah.
But
alrighty.
it's a stupid thing to want to send everybody to Rwanda. That was just a silly thought. I would put it there.
He better go.
Oh my God. Okay. Thank you, ladies. That was interesting. Let us move on to our next topic. Let me bring that up. Give me a moment here.
Dumb hard, cakewalk, joyride, bake car, straight talk, straight talk, straight talk.
My name is Claudette Esterine-Campbell, and I am the president of the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. Welcome to These Three Things. You don't know what it is about. Usually once per month, usually on the last Saturday of the month, we come to you live to discuss three things three things that stick in our craw, that either made us happy or made us angry or just somewhere in between. And so we here. So now we're heading to Jamaica to discuss what's happening with the teachers union or a section, the National Parent Teachers Association. They made the news this month, and Colleen will lead us through that.
Yeah. Okay, it all stemmed way back, a long time story from, I think it was like 2018. I think she was 5-year-old at the time.
She was 6.
She was 6 at the time, and she wore locks, and the school didn't want her in there, so the parents, of course, took it to JTA, and it went to court. It was overturned, but in the Supreme Court, but they went back again, and this time.
Yeah, can you sit forward, Colleen, so we can hear you better?
Oh, sorry.
That's
they
fine.
Went back again. This time they were successful in winning. The JTA is concerned, though, that with the ruling that they were trampling on human rights, they're not allowing them to express oneself. You know, they're wondering what will happen come September when everybody decides to come to school in any hairstyle that they feel like, and expect that, you know, school authorities cannot say anything because the courts say this and the court give them the right to do it. They're just worried about that. JTA is just worried about what is going to happen if everybody use that kind of right, and figure they can't. But JTA is saying that, you know, they're just asking all stakeholders to just think about it, because the school has the right to, they give the school authority the right to say, you know, this one don't look so good, go and change it, or so on and so on. If they have to have a common ground, then they have to come together and come on a common ground and make a decision there. But they are really concerned about the ruling, and that is where it is right now.
Okay, so for persons watching us who are, you know, obviously not from Jamaica, but I know African Americans living in the United States have had this experience of schools and other places saying that you cannot wear your hair in certain styles. And so what Colleen is talking about is this is a long ongoing issue, started many years ago, where a child, 6-year-old, Gloria said, that was not allowed to enter the school because she was wearing hair like mine, dreadlocks. And this has been going through the court system, appeals and so forth. And the court has finally said that the schools overstepped the boundaries and infringed on children or this child's constitutional rights. So the concern now is, come September, is it going to be a free-for-all in terms of hairstyles? So I just wanted to put it in that context so that everybody is on the same page.
So the school, they're just begging the school authorities, you know, to be a little more liberal in thinking about, you know, how the grooming for the students come September. They have to, but because they need to have orderliness, you can't have open season. There has to be some kind of rules. I mean, we're living in a society where we need rules. We grow up, we're supposed to have rules in the home. In the country, you have rules. So we have to have rules in the workplace. There are rules. So you have to have rules in the schools also. And I believe, my personal feeling, that if a school has rules, you should follow it, or find another school that will accommodate what you want.
I hear what you're saying, Colleen, but let me play the devil's advocate here and ask you, how wearing your hair in dreadlocks, which is religious, cultural hairstyle, how does
Okay.
that break the rule?
Okay. Now you go into the part of religion. A lot of these people now wearing the lock style is, I'm not wearing it for religious reasons.
How are you going to know who is and who isn't?
And that is it. They're sometimes using that, and it is not so. They're not doing the perform a lot. And I've heard this the other day, this particular dreadlock person, he's the original dreadlocks, then let me put it that way. And he's saying that a lot of people who are done in the dreadlock style are not really living the Rastafarian way of life. They only say they are Rastas because they want to wear the hairstyle, but they are not living the lifestyle of a Rastafarian. And that is what I'm saying. If they are actually living the Rastafarian lifestyle and consider it their religion, then I will deeply understand that. But a lot of them just wear it as hairstyles. And then,
So how are you going to police a school and of 100 kids, let's just say 100 kids, and 10 of them turn up with dreadlocks? Who is going to police and investigate which of the 10, which one is really living the Rastafarian lifestyle and who is just doing it for style?
That is true. That is true. I understand that. But
I think we need to make the distinction. Started dropping here before I forget the point. I think we need to make the distinction between grooming that is required by the school and infringement of rights. For this 6-year-old child, it was held that they were infringing on the rights of the child. She had locks as locks. Her locks was not medicinal, it was religious. And that particular school did not allow that. So the infringement would come, well, if the hairstyle is part of the person's religion, whether student or adult, because her whole family, that's their religion. And it has been a fight from day one. There are other schools who allow dreadlocks as long as it is well groomed, and some schools, I think Jared's school, you have to wear it covered. So you have to make the distinction between.
Hang on, I'm Clara. Gloria is trying to interject. Hold on a second.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Gloria. You're trying to.
This is what Claudette is saying. How can you decide which one, which purpose is the style for? How do you make that
To tell you the truth, Claudette,
distinction?
I think that
Not me, it's Gloria.
Oh, Gloria. They're a little harsh, the school authority, the principal, whoever it is, they're a little harsh because they could have used their discrepancy in the matter. Yes. And allow the child, because the school that I was at, we allow dreadlock students there. I went there and I see dreadlock students, but they had to wear it under a tam.
Well, Carella is just commented that the ministry has now allowed them to wear it, meaning dreadlocks, without covering it to school.
That is what happened because of the recent court case. So it is now saying that they don't need to do that. and they're able to, wear the hairstyles they can wear. And that's where the problem comes in.
So
Don't worry.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Why doesn't the ministry place the responsibility on the parent or guardian or whoever to prove to the school, instead of the school trying to monitor who is religious style or not religious style? Why don't they transfer the responsibility to the parent to approach the school and say, we know that your standards are this, however, because of our religious inclinations, we are asking for the exemption. Why not
You make a very good point there, Clara, because we have that here in Canada where they call it apply for accommodation, and it goes with disability and other things where you make your case
as is, because everybody going to come with blue, green, red, pink, everything Monday morning. Let it be that the onus be on the parents to approach the school, because my niece went to Holy Childhood High. My eldest brother is Rastafarian, and when she wanted to lock her hair, her parents went to sister at Holy Childhood, mother and father, who both had locked hair, and they presented their case to sister, and sister allowed my niece to attend Holy Childhood with her lock. But the parent went to the school to seek permission.
You see, and that's what JTA was saying, that based on that, yes, if there are disagreements, there should be a process to be engaged at the school.
Correct.
Exactly what you were saying. Yes, there should be a process.
I agree with Gloria, and it shouldn't be willy-nilly. It should be a part of the system, that it's built into the system where, as I said, here we call it accommodation. You apply for accommodation. So whether it is your hairstyle, whether it is that you have to stop at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock for prayers, whatever. So you apply for your religious accommodation or physical disability accommodation or something, whatever it is.
Oh, yes, that's what ministry should do.
Exactly. And
I think they should make us in charge.
But they did say that recently, because of the ruling, they said that they're gonna ask the school to put that in place, to have a process being done where there are disagreements involved. So
I'm glad to hear that they're working it out, because when you sent me the article to have we share the articles before, folks, and I said to Colleen, this seems like a backward step. They're upset about, for the want of a better word, they're upset about the ruling, and that come September morning, blah blah. And I felt that it seemed like a backward step. So I'm glad to hear that it has moved further since, and that a system is going to be put in place.
Right, and it will be worked out, because I know you're going to be attaching it to probably, natural hair, because it's not the same as in the US, where they back in the days when you had to straighten your hair in order to be a part of the crowd, or your self-esteem would be low because you have this coily knotty hair and you want to look good, because that's why people used to press their hair. Back in my days, my mom used to press her hair, but when they had the black women movement, when was it? In the 60s, 70s? In that time when they wear the big afro.
70s.
Yeah, I think it started from the 60s going into 70s. I think that was where the black women started, recognizing that their hair is a part of their identity.
Well, Colleen, I think that some of these Jamaican educators would be in shock if they were to come to Canada to teach, because there's no way you're going to tell a child that they can't wear a mohawk or they can't have pink, blue, yellow, green, and purple in their hair. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
You have to understand it's what we grew up in, it's what we know, it's what we were told, we were taught to teach.
But how is it that on one hand, you know, you want to adapt and adopt other people's cultural way of life, and then on the other hand, you want to hold on to this.
Well, that
this.
is correct.
It's
They're slowly learning, and movement is being made. So let us see how it goes.
okay. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that. And we have 2 more to go, so let's move on, and we're going to go back to Gloria. So let me bring that up. Give me a second here.
Dumb hard, cakewalk, joyride, bake car, straight talk, straight talk, straight talk.
My name is Claudette Esterine-Campbell, and I am the president of the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. Welcome to These Three Things. You don't know what it is about. Usually once per month, usually on the last Saturday of the month, we come to you live to discuss 3 things. Okay, so we're back to Gloria.
My feel good story of the month.
Okay, let me just play this. I just want to quickly add our disclaimer here that before I play this. Okay, so let's go.
I just was shouting in for support. Oh my god. Oh. Holy shit. I just was shouting in for support. Oh my.
So what are we seeing here, Gloria?
Right. So this is Michaela. I think she's from New Zealand. I'm not sure. I think so. So this story is from Paris. So we've done Canada, we've done the UK, we've done Jamaica. Now we're at the Olympics in Paris. And she just glimpsed the Jamaican sprinter, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, and she was totally overwhelmed. As you can see, she's close to tears because Shelly is her idol.
Okay.
And she glimpsed her in the camp, and she got all teary-eyed and all flustered. And Shelly, being the great and awesome female role model for our young girls and young women worldwide, saw the video and arranged to meet the athlete, the person personally.
Nice.
So she contacted the team, the camp for Michaela's team, and arranged for them to meet up. She didn't know her personally at all. She just saw the video and said, "Oh my gosh." They arranged it and they met up together, face to face, took pictures, everything, and she's now friends on Instagram. So she did 2 follow-up videos today. She did a video where they met, and she also did another video with her friend to show that Shelly accepted her friend requests on social media. So she said, "We are friends now, we're friends." It was all set. Why I felt great was that Shelly went out of her way to arrange to meet her personally. So Michaela had nothing to do with the planning. Shelly did it all. And just to show how just female love.
How gracious she is.
Yeah, just showing love to another person. Because some persons would have flown to their head and said, "Oh, but she didn't do that. She arranged to meet the girl and just to make her dreams come true, basically. So yes.
Okay, I found the other one, so let me share that. I like this. We should have done this one last.
Oh my god. I just opened the expedition.
Oh, now you gotta reply. You gotta reply.
What do I say?
FaceTime him and FaceTime him.
And then what?
And
then I should just you should say
blink out. I'll be like, yeah.
please say
Or something. I don't know.
would love to get a photo.
This is made my life.
Any maybe look cool. Maybe some
star eyes. That's too much.
That's like too much. Okay. And Sim. Oh! I feel like I used to do that.
This is the thing.
When speed meets speed.
When speed meets speed.
Okay, get breathe. What's on your top? You're not getting a photo. My top. I'm not hot.
Take it off. Take it off.
Yes.
That's so cute. You know, it's very appropriate because today is Friendship Day. So it's so appropriate.
It crossed race, it crossed age, it crossed culture, countries, it crossed everything. And for me, that was an awesome moment. And just to show that we have girls who can look at these.
Oh
things
yeah,
and realize,
absolutely.
you know, we don't have to. It doesn't have to always be about us. It can be about somebody else as well. And she-
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing that,
And
Gloria.
it just didn't end there because it didn't end there because in the stands cheering Michaela on at her first rugby match, official match, was Shelley.
Yes.
And she even
Yes.
took a group photo with them. So the only black person in that group photo was Shelley. So now Michaela
In
probably
fact,
have
the only
her
person in
have
the
her
stand
Jamaican
cheering-
passport and Shelley have her New Zealand passport.
The only person I could
But
see
it's
in the stand
awesome.
cheering who was black and waving to Michaela was Shelley. And she doesn't know anything
And
about rugby.
Shelley
She's never
made the
been to a
point
match
in an
before.
interview. She made the point in an interview that she said that of all the Olympic events that she has participated in, it's the first one that she has taken time out to attend another event outside
Yes.
of what she is there to do. Awesome.
Yes.
No, that's
Awesome.
a wonderful story. And you know, I always have to link it back to us here at the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. This is why we do what we do. You know, people talking about women empowerment. That is women empowerment. You know,
Yeah.
that two top athletes and they're not fighting one another. Yes, it's different events, different categories, but they're not fighting one another. They're not saying who is black, who is white. They're just being sisters.
Yes.
You know, and whew, goosebumps. Thank you.
You're
That makes the point. That makes the point. Okay, so for our last story for the day, it's gonna come from the indomitable Clara Brown.
If we end on that note,
we should, because your story
just end on that note because
is going to bring
I've
us
contributed to
down.
everybody else's.
It's gonna bring us down. Just gonna bring us down. But
We
anyway,
just end on that note.
Dumb hard, cakewalk, joyride, bake car, straight talk, straight talk, straight talk.
my name is Claudette Esterine-Campbell, and I am the president of the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. Welcome to These Three Things You Don't. So here we go. Clara, over to you.
My story has to do with FDA taking a fundamental step 10 years late, albeit 10 years late, by deciding that a particular additive to sodas, citrus flavored sodas, is to be banned, which is they call it BVO, which is let me go back to the brominated vegetable oil. Now, this chemical or this oil was added to the sodas to ensure that whatever they put in it doesn't float up to the top of the soda. So it suppresses the other additives that they may have added to the drink. And the toxicology reports which supports this decision points to several issues with the use of this product. One of them significantly or fundamentally is the suppression of the iodine in your diet. It compromises iodine and causes all kinds of issues with your autoimmune system. And yeah. As a soda, well, I don't do that much these days, but I've had several bottles of sodas in my lifetime. And when I saw this article, I was like, geez. But if there is a light at the end of the tunnel, companies such as Pepsi-Cola and Coca-Cola, they have stopped using this chemical over 10 years, over a decade ago, it's reported.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here.
From their research and development, they have recognized that.
So do they say who was still using it?
Well, there are some the FDA just made that ruling, but there are other systems which recognize the danger of using it. So like it was banned in Europe, it was banned in India, it was banned in Japan. But hey, the great US,
the US,
based on the amount of money that they're getting from these multinational companies,
the lobbyists,
they were the last out of the blocks, as Noel Lyles will be on Friday.
As who?
Which brings me.
I just realized what you said. You mean the athlete? Oh my God.
Back to serious business.
What does FDA stand for, Clara?
Food and Drug Agency.
Food and Drug Administration.
Is it just unique to the US?
Yes, it's a US agency.
Okay.
Yes.
And yet they're the last one to take.
Of course, FDA is notorious for taking bribes, you know. They will recognize the issues and problems and health of the nation is in a detrimental state, and they're always
all about the money.
Yes. But look at what happened with tampons. They've known for how long that there was stuff in tampons, and they said, oh, until now.
You see, because unless it has a sudden effect on you, that's the only time they would act. But they don't act when it's just creeping up on you, and that is what these things do. I mean, I was an orange soda lover. I loved orange soda, and I can just, when I read that and listened to it, I can just imagine what the inside. That no wonder my stomach giving me trouble.
Long-term effects.
I'm telling you, yeah.
I said up to last week Friday, I drink one. Anyway, there's a Pepsi Cola and Coca-Cola had stopped including it in their drinks. But the bigger question and the bigger concern, especially now, is food safety.
Mm.
In 2029, June 7th was declared for the first time as World Food Safety Day by the United Nations. And the WHO statistics show that 1 in 10 persons will die from consuming contaminated food, food which is laced with chemicals. And in 2019, 600 million persons became ill from consuming regular food, out of the food with not a party food, just food that they get from out of the shops, out of the supermarkets, out of the counter. And over 400,000 die from it. So 600 persons became ill, 600 million persons became ill, and 420,000 die from it.
Wow. Wow.
With the thrust to put food on the table.
They're unaliving us.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
yes, and it's not happening slowly. One time you say slowly but surely, but oh boy.
I tell you,
with
so
the population.
I went to the UK in 1999 with my children, and they were quite small. And so, you go in and because I've always visited over the years, maybe 10 times for the year, you go to the USA because we're so close in Jamaica to the USA. So you go there shopping, you do all sort of things in the USA, holidays, whatever. So we moved to the UK now. Your friend picked up herself. I'm going to the supermarket, I'm going to shop. Because, of course, I have the kids, so if I'm staying with a family member, you want to do your bit. So our flat wasn't ready as yet, so we stayed with Clive's sister. I went to the supermarket and I just stood there and just looked around. I couldn't find one US product on the shelf. I don't know if Claudette had that experience in Canada. There's no Campbell's soup. There's no Heinz. There's everything I was familiar with here.
No brand name.
Nothing on the shelves.
But countries like Jamaica and African nations, they're the dumping ground for the US crap.
Well, that's another story. Don't let me go there because I'm so upset about that part. Different story totally. And so what I learned over the years living there is that the standards that the European countries have for food is totally different from the standards from the US. And so that's why we
US has no standards.
And you see it in their body sizes.
That's why we can't find you will not find a US product readily in a large supermarket in the UK. No.
And it accounts for that lack of care and concern, accounts for the obesity crisis in the US.
Sugar content.
Yes.
The artificial colorings, artificial sweeteners, all of those things are unique to the US.
Wow. Well, thank you, Clara, for raising awareness on that. And we're going to call it a night here. And, Clara brought us down, so we need to go back up and end this Friendship Day on a high note. So I went back for Shelley. So any final words, just
Michaela
to wrap up?
and Shelley.
Michaela and Shelley. I went back for that. So that's how we're going to leave it tonight. Thank you so much for that story, because as I said, it's Friendship Day, and that just goes to the heart, and tell us what is possible when we come together, even with food, even with politics. And as we were saying, if the people in America could just come together for the sake of their country, not for the sake of money, not for the sake of profits, as we're seeing with what happened with the FDA, but for the sake of the country. So let's go back to these two as we leave it here tonight. Yeah.
Here's a question for him.
And look out for when Shelley, after Shelley let her go and tell her to breathe.
Yes.
Well, you said you have a question.
Yes. I want you to all tell me who would you do that to? Who's your idol that you would do that to?
Fangirl over?
Who's your idol who you would go gaga over?
Oh, I used to go gaga over Mrs. Mandy, but because we are okay, whatever. Now I don't need to. But yeah, that was who I would when I was younger. I used to go gaga over. Now there is nobody really. You, Clara?
I'm thinking.
Me, I think I don't call it gaga, but I think I would like to meet Michelle Obama personally.
Okay.
Oh,
Just to sit and have tea with her.
Oh, you even want her tea. You never just want to be in the same room.
I
Eh?
agree with that one.
You don't want her
Just
tea.
to
You don't want
be, I would offer her a cup of tea so she can stay a little longer.
You, Gloria?
I don't think I have anybody I'd go after. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Me, I don't have anybody
That's
now.
right. No, not
What
right.
about you, Colleen?
I'm not that kind of person.
So I asked for that for.
So yeah,
It was a good question.
Yeah, I understand it. It's a good question. She's right. It's a good question. I guess in other words, she's saying who's kind of like your woman who you look up to, you know, who inspires you. And for me, for the rest of my life, it will be Beverly Manley. It'll always be Beverly Manley. Always. All right. So thank you guys. Let us go back to these two. This one is shorter. Where is my play button?
I'm practicing Jamaican sentences, it would say, right? Yeah. So, yeah, girl. Yeah, girl. Yeah, look good. Oh, yeah, look good. No, I went off. That was it. I said, no, you got it. And then when you see somebody, when you see a Wagwan goodie. Wagwan goodie. She's too cool. I can't try it anymore. Never mind. I am practicing Jamaican sentences, it would say, right? Yeah. So, yeah, girl. Yeah, girl. Yeah, look good. Oh, yeah, look good. Ooh, yeah, look good. No, I went off. That was it. I said, no, you got it. And then when you see somebody, when you see a Wagwan goodie. Wagwan goodie.
She even got ahead. She even got it. Well, going goodie. That's
Only
beautiful,
Jamaican.
beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, ladies. That was a wonderful note to end on. Have a good night, everybody, and see you again soon.